what's interesting, I don't recall, and all of us have studied history, I don't recall these debates about political correctness happening when people who were in power were in absolute power, unquestioned power. Political correctness, right? Let me. Political correctness becomes an issue, and what I mean by that is people who used to have power, who still have power but think they don't, who get challenged on just a little bit of what they have and don't want to share toys in the sandlot of life. So all of a sudden it becomes a kind of exaggerated grievance. Now the things you named, the bullet points and the cisgender and the heteronormativity and the heteropatriarchy and the capitalist resurgence and the insurrection of subjugated knowledges, to give Foucault some more love, or the Derridian deconstruction, all that stuff. The French phase is still going on with the French fries in America. What's interesting is that I didn't hear many complaints of political correctness at the height of the dominance of one group or another. But when Martin Luther King Jr., who argued for group identity as a black person to provide an opportunity for individual black people to come to the fore, they began to make that claim. Oh, now they didn't call it political correctness. You're siding with those who are against free speech. You're siding with those who don't want me as a white person to be recognized in my humanity. And what I mean by political correctness is the kind of politics of ressentiment that are articulated by various holders of power at certain levels, at various levels. That one of the beautiful things about Foucault that I take as opposed to Max Weber is that Foucault said power breaks out everywhere. I would think a person who's critical of political correctness like you would appreciate this, as opposed to Max Weber, who said power is over there in a hierarchical structure where subordination is the demand. Foucault said no, power breaks out even among people who are disempowered. So you can hurt somebody in your own community. What's more politically incorrect than a black Baptist preacher identifying with a first century Palestinian Jew and still loving atheists? What's more politically incorrect than a black intellectual going on Bill Maher and defending his ability to continue to have his show despite using the N-word? I, sir, believe in a politically incorrect version. When I go as a black Baptist preacher to chastise my fellow believers about their homophobia, that goes over like a brick cloud. When I come into arenas like this, I understand that my back is up against the wall. But I think...
Come and sit over here.
I want to sit on your lap. I want to sit on your lap in a while. But what I'm saying to you... But don't get excited. But what I'm saying to you...
Don't flatter yourself.
Oh, that's all right. I see how you've been looking at me. So what's interesting is that when we look at the way in which we as societies, in a free Canadian society, in a free American society, when I look at what is seen as political correctness, it to me has been a mass of jumble that has been carved together out of the politics of resentment that powers once held no longer are held. Freedoms once exercised absolutely must now be shared. So I am in agreement with both of my gentlemen to my right who believe that political correctness has been a scourge, but not necessarily the way you think so. I think it's been a scourge because those who have been the deployers of power and the beneficiaries of privilege have failed to recognize their particular way. And at the end of the day, I think that those of us who are free citizens of this country and of America should figure out ways to respect the humanity of the other, to respect the individual existence of the other, but also respect the fact that there have been barriers placed upon particular groups that have prevented them from flourishing. That's all I mean by political correctness.
Okay,